Media players space to play, M to mute, left and right to seek. A high school student has taken on a Christian broadcaster during Q&A, arguing that calls for religious protections in same-sex marriage legislation are unjustified because it is legally and morally wrong to discriminate against the LGBT community. Christian broadcaster and former Liberal politician Stephen O'Doherty had argued people enjoyed more protections based on their sexuality than they did for religion. He brought up an incident during the same-sex marriage campaign, where an 18-year-old employee was fired for writing "It's okay to vote no" on Facebook, and asked Melbourne high school student Millie Roper, who had asked a question on the topic, whether she thought that was acceptable. "The amendments that myself and my colleagues want are precisely to protect that young woman," Mr. O'Doherty said, "and anybody else who wants to simply express a view about marriage and not be punished for it. The same protections that are awarded to people for sexuality ought to be awarded to people who hold religious views." Millie hit back at Mr. O'Doherty, saying, "When you say that we're protecting the LGBT+ community more than protecting religious people, people of Christian and Catholic views haven't been persecuted and systematically oppressed like the LGBT+ community has for centuries. This debate was about improving their rights, and in doing that we need to make sure discrimination can't happen on any level. When people say that it's okay to discriminate against a gay couple, when it's legally and morally wrong to discriminate against single gay person, it is unjustified." Joining Mr. O'Doherty on the Q&A panel was Attorney General George Brandis, Opposition Employment and Workplace Relations spokesman Brendan O'Connor, former Independent Senator Jackie Lammy, and Greens Senator for Victoria Janet Rice. Responding to a question on how much authenticity was in Australian politics, Ms. Lammy said she thought the government was falling apart and it had no trust, loyalty or honour. "There's a massive gap for that to be filled," she said. "I won't sit here and lie to anyone. I'll tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. If that brings harm to me, so be it. You start telling lies, you start chasing your tail, and that leaves you in an awkward situation." Media players space to play, M to mute, left and right to seek. The government was also criticised for delaying Parliament for 1 week, leading to accusations Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull did it to avoid the backbench pushing for a royal commission into banks. "The Prime Minister is running scared," Senator Rice said. "He has lost control of his own party. He is very fearful he was going to lose control of the Parliament, which is why they're not going back next week. Mr. Turnbull is delaying Parliament sittings until December 4th so the Senate can finish debating the same-sex marriage bill. Is the Prime Minister saying there's no other business, nothing else we can do? It's crazy," Senator Rice said. "It's making a mockery of our parliamentary system." Ms. Lammy again said the government was falling apart. "It is shocking up there. It is not pleasant up there," she said. Senator Brandis defended Mr. Turnbull's decision and said it was to discuss same-sex marriage and the dual citizenship crisis. "What is the government doing? It's arranging the program to prioritize those two issues," he said. Senator Rice shot back and said, "Seems like the government's biggest priority is saving its own skin." Media players space to play, M to mute, left and right to seek.